So, it's been a while, but here's another update about Fallout 4. So, Fallout 4 will apparently support multiple playstyles including non-violent. Todd Howard shared the details in an interview with The Guardian in which he said, "You can avoid killing a lot. I can't tell you you can play the entire game without killing. That's not necessarily a goal of ours, but we want to support different playstyles as much as possible." I did screw that quote up, but you got the point. This is good news, but not necessarily anything groundbreaking. I mean, you've been able to play with different playstyles in previous Fallout games. You can do it in Skyrim. It's already a feature, but it's good to know that they're talking about it and the options are still there in a way. Because, you know, it's still just sort of reinforcing the ideas we already have of the universe and what we've been playing for like the past few years, because I imagine most people, if they're looking at Fallout 4 news, probably want to know about the game. So, moving on, we have some news about modding, which is that we should not expect it on launch day, and this isn't really a surprise if you paid attention to Skyrim and its Creation Kit launch. The Creation Kit launched on the 7th of February 2012, and Skyrim was released on the 11th of November 2011. So the Creation Kit and the game being released, there's usually a gap. And for anyone who doesn't know, the Creation Kit is the main modding tool. There were mods before the Creation Kit, but they weren't as complicated. The Creation Kit essentially just opens up the game and lets you do pretty much anything you want. You can create NPCs, remodel things, you can add in entire new zones, you can add in entire new worlds, essentially. The Creation Kit is an amazing tool that they've released with pretty much every Bethesda game. Well, 3, New Vegas, Skyrim, I think Oblivion had one as well. I didn't play Oblivion on PC, so I don't really know. I played on Xbox. But the last point before we move on to actual Gamescom news is the fact that Fallout 4 will let you keep playing its story after it ends. Which is good, is very good. It's an improvement upon what we've already seen in the previous couple of Fallout games. Sort of doing it more the Skyrim way of things, because after you kill, spoilers, after you kill Alduin, the big end boss, I mean it came out in 2011, I'm pretty sure most people have finished Skyrim at this point. Once you've killed the big end boss, the game just doesn't go, yeah, that's it, now you have to reload an old save. You can go back into the world, you can do everything else, because I think I ran around after I'd done Alduin and did most of the guild quests after that, rather than doing them beforehand, because I got very distracted. I think I was about level 40 by the time I finally got around to doing Alduin's quest line. I kept doing other things, and so the fact that Fallout 4 doesn't end at the beginning, doesn't end after you've like finished the final mission is a good thing. But also they've talked about the fact that Fallout 4 doesn't end when the story ends, but there's also no level cap. So you can keep playing and leveling. But there's got to be a point where leveling becomes useless, essentially, because once you've reached a certain point, you're going to have all of your skills maxed out, you're going to have all of your stats maxed out, you're going to have all of the perks. So leveling's just going to be increasing your health, I guess? I mean, after a certain point, it's going to be kind of pointless. But the fact that there is a level cap is nice, I suppose, so it's not like necessarily you have to go down one certain pathway, and then if you want to play the game in a different way, you're going to have to start a new character, like you do in some games. It's going to be the fact that you can just do everything, and you can get all of the skills, and you can like leave that skill until the end, I'll get it now. Which is, it's nice, but there is going to be a point where that leveling becomes pointless. And I kind of want to know what that point is, because that's essentially going to be the level cap. So I would like to know what that is. But finally, on to Gamescom. Is the first little thing is the fact that perks now have unlockables. So there are 70 perks in total in the game, apparently, and you can upgrade these, and there's 275 like ranks. I'm not saying there's 275 for each of them, there's like 275 total, from what I understand. Also, apparently some perks can be earned by putting points into the special stats, you know, strength, perception, endurance, intelligence, that stuff, you know. So apparently, like, if you put 10 points into strength, you'll unlock a special perk style thing, which means, like, from what I understand, if that's a thing, then you're going to be able to level up the special skills as well. like put points into strength and stuff, which would be good. As essentially like with Skyrim, how when you put points into stamina, it like increases your carry weight, so then you can carry more things. Increasing the strength would allow you to carry more things in the game, which would make sense, and it would be better than like the Skyrim system of upgrading stamina to increase your like endurance and stuff. So I kind of like that idea. Secondly, the bit of information I got was there's better animations. So, like normally a ghoul would just amble towards you or charge at you, or you get the point. Whereas now they can like crawl through windows and through gaps and walls and things. So these things are actually going to be coming like at you, like almost like in a zombie film, I guess. Like they're coming through every different way to try and get to you. That sort of thing. There are actually all these cool little animations and stuff. Apparently, also you can like shoot off limbs. So if you shoot off like both of the ghoul's legs, it'll be on the floor, and then it'll still be coming at you, crawling towards you. And then you can shoot off its arms, and it'll still keep throwing itself at you. So like there's gonna be sort of the limb choppy off thing that Dead Space had, which was a really cool system. And seeing that in Fallout does sound like it's gonna be fun. Also incredibly sadistic if you wanted to. The main part is it has that Dead Space thing that's really cool. And the third point is improved gunplay. So there's no more jankiness. Like before, when you were playing Fallout, you have to sit there and you have to keep turning VATS on to shoot somebody, or you'd sit really far away and shoot at them, because you couldn't really run at somebody with a gun necessarily. Like you'd be very outmatched most of the time, so you'd have to keep switching VATS on and off. And it also means in the big three-way battles, which are now apparently a thing, so it's going to be like Ghouls versus Brotherhood of Steel versus you, and then like a behemoth will come in. There's like all this massive battle style stuff, and that sounds amazing. And I'm really interested in seeing that. But like I said, one of the sides is Brotherhood of Steel, and apparently they're sort of, you can work for them, it looks like, or they work for, you're on their side essentially. So, fighting Brotherhood of Steel in the other trailer, they outcasts, or is it going to be Brotherhood of Steel turns on you, or is it going to be some of the Brotherhood of Steel that actually helps? It's just a little thing that they're talking about, and that sounds like something to be interesting. The fourth point I have a bit of information on is the fact that lockpicking and hacking hasn't changed since the other games. Which is nice, because lockpicking is an easy to understand system and it's nice to use. I've never bothered installing any of the mods on the PC versions to just get around lockpicking, because I'm actually quite good at the lockpicking, which is weird. But they've also kept the hacking the same. And I hate the hacking in Fallout. If you've watched my Fallout 3 playthrough, I don't like hacking at all. It's a pain in the arse. It really is. Moving on to that. The fifth bit of info we have is the introduction of a radial menu for weapons and items, which is great for those that are planning on playing on a console or on a PC with a controller. But for people playing on a PC like myself with a keyboard, this feature is entirely pointless, because if it keeps the same favourite system that both Fallout New Vegas and Skyrim have had, then you just set something on favourites, you assign it a number key on your numpad or on your numbers across the top of your keyboard, and then you just press this to switch between weapons, or your med packs or whatever, and you just instantly heal without having to open up your menu to heal. But the radial menu is good for people playing on a console, but for me playing on a PC it's entirely pointless. But moving on, the sixth bit of info is something I've wanted since I first played Fallout 3, and that's the ability to look at a body and see what's in it without actually having to open up your inventory. So you can just hover over a body and there'll be like a list of all the items within it. Which is great, because then you don't have to keep opening your inventory to loot and check and keep doing that over and over and over again. Which was a thing I did like several times in Skyrim, rolling around in like tombs and stuff. Playing not Skyrim recently, so. But there's also the added feature of you can send your dog to loot bodies, so like we saw in the E3 footage where they show off the dog and you can go and fetch things for you, you can actually loot bodies for you, which is quite useful, because you don't have to keep going over to the other side of the room to check a body when you're like fighting someone. You can send a dog to go and do it for you, which is nice. There have also been changes to how rads work, and like previously it was like, oh, now you have less health, that sort of thing. Whereas now there's actually like a visible red bar on your health bar where your health can't regenerate past that point, so it slowly reduces the amount of health you have the more rads you build up. Which is a good feature, and it's also a pain. I usually avoid the rad zones anyway, so it's not really much of a problem for me, but I mean, by the looks of the trailers and stuff, there's going to be highly radiated areas that we're going to have to go into, so rad suits are going to be a thing everyone's going to be wearing. But there's also the implementation of a crit button in VATS. We saw this actually in the E3 footage. It was just sort of in like the little snippets of VAT footage. Didn't really show you much. But essentially these are critical attacks that you get your special animation. So if you have a baseball bat and you run up to do and you activate your critical attack, you'll like kick them in the nuts or something, drop them down to the floor, and then you'll smack them over your head with your baseball bat. That sort of thing. And it apparently deals a bunch more damage, which would make sense being a critical attack. But it also appears that you have to build these up. There's like a bar, and I'm assuming it's the more kills you get, or the more times you use VATS maybe, or maybe the less times you use VATS. That sort of thing, to build up your crit bar, to then activate your crit and deal a whole bunch of damage, rather than just dealing like a baseball bat's worth of damage. You know, you'll deal like, I don't know, triple, double, whatever. You deal more damage. Now the last two, a bit different. They're not necessarily these important facts of actual gameplay, but one of them is. It's the fact that the game length is apparently around 400 hours. Which is amazing, and I'm kind of looking forward to finding out how those 400 hours work, because I think I have nearly 200 hours. Actually, no, I have 200 hours of Skyrim on my PC. I have probably more on my Xbox playthrough. That two combined, probably over 400 hours. I think I've finished the campaign, I finished all of the guild quests apart from the Bard one. Still haven't done half the side missions. So that's over 400 hours for Skyrim, so I'm assuming Fallout, probably over 400 hours, but the 400 hours is their sort of minimum thing, I guess? Which is nice. And also apparently there's a baseball mission. Or something of the sort where you have to hit baseballs with a baseball bat. Apparently, that might just be complete speculation. But that's nice if you like baseball, I guess. So, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. You can check out all the other Fallout stuff on the channel if you're new around here. There's also a bunch more stuff on the channel. There's like a New Vegas playlist. There's like 4 episodes of Fallout 3 that I did on the live stream. That's kind of janky. You might not want to watch that. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Have a good day, and I'll see you next time.